Says it's recording. Good evening here on KM Activities, your home for the Comets. This is weird for me, Jacob. I'm going to be shown on camera. I don't really like that necessarily. It should be just focused on you. But I'm Joel McCall, and we have interview day. We already had Noel Van Ort with us for the Kasson Mantorville Comet volleyball team. Now we have Jakob Aarsvold with us. He is a senior with the football team. Jacob, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing well. Just came off a great walk with my dog and wife. Notice I said my dog first, who's the most important around this house.
Yeah.
And I know you guys have practice today. How'd things go for practice?
It was great. Fun, fast practice, and it was beautiful out. We had a tropical heat wave coming through, so it was nice. Finally not freezing for practice. It was nice.
Well, you guys had such an exciting game last week. I know I didn't get to go up to New Prague, but how did you guys feel coming off of a win like that where you get a game-winning field goal from Winkle?
Yeah, it was really fun, a really fun game, a nice atmosphere because it was their homecoming, so there's quite a few people there. It felt a little bit of normalcy, which was nice. Personally, I don't think it should have been that close. We gave them everything they got. And I mean, we still looked pretty good, but we're not even touching the surface of what our offense and defense can do. So that's also really reassuring because I feel like we can do a lot more, and that's exciting for the rest of the season.
Well, and I think they really tested the secondary, which was something that you hadn't seen yet this year. And I think that should open the door of, okay, now we have a few things to work on back there.
Yep. And we had Brooks was hurt, so we had a kid had to step up, and Noah stepped up, and Devo and Aiden Smith, the sophomore, played one of his first varsity games. So they did really well for what they had.
Well, and you had to go up against a couple of tough runners from New Prague, and talk about your goals and your assignments, I guess, really, when it comes to defensive side. You're really an outside linebacker, defensive lineman, kind of float around. So talk about your positioning on the defensive side first.
Yeah, so I'm the end for our offense, and right now we're getting spread out. When we play these wing T teams, like they play the wing T, so when we play Albany, they run a lot of pitches, and you got to make sure nobody gets outside of you. That's what Mr. Swanson says all the time. Nobody outside of you. So we widen out, and it's different because we're a funnel technique, which means you basically put an X behind the butt of the tackle, and you take 3 steps, and you have that's where your aiming point is. And if you got a wing, then it gets even pushed farther back. So you have to put an X behind the wing. You're hitting behind the wing. And if there's nobody there, then you got the tail back. So our aiming point's a little bit further upfield than you would think if you're just hitting a tackle, like a normal DN. So it's a little bit different, but we got to make sure nobody gets outside of us. If we stop the outside, I think we can dominate this next game. And so that's kind of our big assignment this week and last week for sure, was just keeping everybody inside and getting a shot on your man. You want to make sure you get a shot, especially on the wing. So even if he's going out for a pass, if you get a shot, knocks him off his route, and you can save the D-back some work for sure.
Yeah, you're really going to have to set that edge. Albany has some really good runners for sure that we're going to be talking a little bit about their running backs. But all right, then flip the side. Talk about your assignments on offense. You're a wing back, which is a little bit different. You're kind of doing a little bit of everything. You're asked to do a lot.
For sure. So they say it's the hardest position. I've been playing it for a while, so I think it's the funnest position for sure. And yeah, so you get to do it all. You get to block, run, get passes, and I think it's the best position on the field. And yeah, so this week we think we can beat them outside. It looks like in their film they get almost 8 guys in the box almost all the time. So that means their middle linebackers are really close. Their outside linebackers are really close. So we feel we can beat them outside bad. So if we're getting a lot of pitches and with our triple option, so we're always in motion. And yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun this week. If they're taking away the dive and taking away the quarterback, that means we're going to the pitch. And we haven't had a ton of big plays. You haven't seen a lot of touchdowns by the wings, but that means later this season they're going to start taking away Mo and Jackson, and then we're going to start getting the ball. So it's one of those things you got to just do your job, and you understand that later in the season you might get the ball, but it's one of those things you got to realize you're not getting all the stats and everything in the glory, but in the film room, it really shows what you're doing, and it's fun to get a little bit of glory in the film room for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting some of that recognition. As you said, some of that wingback stuff. We saw it last year where you could get on the outside. I know Logan Baum would be one of those guys that could do that. And hopefully Buchanan's healthy, and he'll be another one that we'll be talking about on Friday. And I want to know about your start. How'd you get started with football? When did it all become such a big proponent in your life?
So second grade, my friends played football. I begged my parents to let me play football. And back then we started tackle football in second grade. I think they start fourth grade now, but I had the glory. So second grade, we played in Rochester and I loved it. And my dad wasn't a football player or anything. He's a big wrestler, so it wasn't really a big thing with him. But my grandpa, on my mom's side, he loved football and he kind of implemented that with me. He taught me how to throw football and all that kind of stuff. So it was really fun. And it's always been I just love football. You can see I got my football jerseys back here. I'm a big Ohio State fan, so JT Barrett and Ezekiel Elliott jerseys, so it's pretty awesome. But I mean, I've always loved watching football, playing, and I've been playing ever since. So I don't know how many years that is, but yep. So third grade, fourth grade. I got really serious probably eighth grade year is when I realized that I'd like to play after high school. Then started lifting, started going to camps, and I ended up with a couple offers. So I mean, it's all paid off, and it's a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And for you guys, tell me about playing with Coach Swanson and his assistant coaches, because it's not just Swanson. Like, he's the head guy and he's the guy that I talk to, but you're really dealing with a lot of assistant coaches.
Yep. And I think we got one of the best. I think we got the best coaching staff around. I mean, they do everything for us, and he still does everything he can for us.
Right.
And Terry does a lot for us, especially knowing that personally I want to play college football and he gets my name out there. He's emailing coaches, helping me out, and he helps a ton. I mean, over quarantine, he let me personally use his weight room so I can keep getting bigger and faster. And they've been a big help. Swanson, I think he is the best D coordinator in Minnesota, if not in for a long time, because there's nobody that does the stuff he does. He watches film. I don't know how he watches so much film. He just watches film, and the stuff he picks up is the biggest help ever. So as a D coordinator and as a head coach, it's been great this year with Swanson. He's really pushed us, and practice has been really high paced. And I know, like, offensively, every day we do hurry up offense. If you watch the new preg game, you could tell we were all calm, collective when we had to make what led to the game-winning field goal. I mean, we were hurry up, and we were all hitting big plays, and it just shows our coaching staff, it always has us ready for what's going to come.
Yeah, I think you guys make some fantastic adjustments, and that's really boils down to the coaching staff and what they see on film prior to games and at halftime, making those second half adjustments. And with football being such a big passion for you, how big of a relief was it to know that you're just going to even have a season and able to play?
Yeah. So with the spring, the spring's pretty unpredictable. I mean, with baseball, they're always shoveling off the turf because there's always snow and there's always rain, and it's always so unpredictable. So I was a little nervous with that for sure. And then I know we were at school and we were all pumped when we heard we got to play football this fall. And I mean, it's just that atmosphere of the fall, Friday nights. You can't get anything better than that. So, I mean, it was a big relief to get to know that we're going to get to play. Yeah, it might be a little bit colder, but we've had some beautiful nights to play football, and we've been blessed for sure.
Well,
So
and you
I'm
ended up,
very happy.
yeah, you missed that first week because of COVID, and then
Yep.
you guys were able to bounce back and play Faribault and New Prague. And all right, let's have a little bit more fun. We've certainly had some already. I already probably know this question, but I'm still going to ask it because it's one of them that I have on my notes. But all right, let's talk favorites. Favorite sports teams.
So Ohio State would be my favorite.
Clearly.
Yep.
Why the Buckeyes?
So is a family friend that introduced me to the Buckeyes when I was probably 10, and he was in the Navy and got introduced because when they were on the ship, they only get the big games. So he couldn't watch the Minnesotas and stuff. He could only watch the teams that were number 1, number 2 in the nation. So he watched a lot of the Buckeyes and kind of fell in love with them. That was in the Woody Hayes age, head coach. And now, so I got introduced Urban Meyer. And, I mean, I fell in love with them for sure. Hard not to.
Well, they've definitely been very, very good. No doubt about that. How about favorite football game or play that you have been a part of?
It's always fun beating Byron. When I was a freshman, we beat Lourdes at home for homecoming. When I was a sophomore, we beat Stewartville at home for homecoming. Those are two big games for sure.
And last year beating Byron a couple of times. So that was always a good thing too. How about favorite advice or best advice you've ever received?
Listen, and because defensively, if you just got to listen and soak it all in, because there's so much information going around, and you just got to make sure you listen and understand. And Coach Swanson will put you in the best position offensively too. You just listen and soak it in. Make sure you're watching for like the younger kids too. When you're at practice, just watch your position, or when you're at home watching film, put yourself and imagine yourself in that position, and it'll help you a ton for sure.
How about role model?
Role model. I'm gonna have a lot of different role models for position wise, just like the big greats that have been good D-ends, D linemen at Kasson have been like so Grant Overton, and I know Will Jensen was a really good one. And then when I played sophomore year, I played alongside Logan Bigelow, and he helped me a lot. And then playing with like Jack Jensen, and I don't know, there's a lot of fun. They all kind of took me under the wing. Garrison Shore was another big one, and they just helped me out every day at practice when I was a sophomore. I learned a lot.
Well, how about in your personal life? A role model in your personal life instead of football?
Ooh. Role model? I'd say my grandpa Jerry, so I think my mom's side, and he was just a phenomenal guy, and he taught me a lot about life and football for sure, and how they correlate, and he just shaped me into the man I am today. So, for sure.
Jacob, do you play other sports?
Used to play basketball. I didn't. Used to wrestle way back in the day. Then used to play baseball. And last year I was going to run track till it got canceled. I'll run track this year too. So,
okay,
track
perfect.
and football.
How about other organizations or clubs? Are you part of any other organizations and clubs?
So, like Link Crew, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Minnesota Honor Society. I got youth group at church. We call it Luther League. We spend a lot of time there. Other organizations, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think you're pretty busy, Jacob. That's what it sounds like. Tell me about your family, siblings, parents.
Yeah, so my parents are divorced, and on my dad's side, so I got my dad and then my stepmom. He's remarried, and I got two step siblings, Carissa and Nathan, and then I got my sister, and she's my real sister, if that. And then on my mom's side, so I got my sister. She comes house to house with me. She's 2 years older, so she's graduated, but she goes to RCTC, so she still lives at home and goes house to house. And yeah, and then I got a half brother on my mom's side, and he lives in Roch. They're all older.
Okay.
Either through college or still in college.
Okay. Well, we've talked a little bit about it so far. Give me your future plans. You've already mentioned that you're playing football. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I'd like to major in mechanical engineering and play football. So I got a couple options. I got a couple offers. Probably my best bet is playing football for Duluth, or I don't have an offer from North Dakota, but I really like their engineering program and what they got, so I'm interested in them. And some other offers that so SMSU, Concordia, St. Paul, Augustana, Northern State. So there's a lot of the NCIS. No, what is the conference they all play in? Division II conference that they all play in the same conference. So
okay,
that's kind of where all my offers come from.
All right. Now I know you got a big test coming up. You'll have your final, you got college algebra finals that I'll be studying for here shortly. But he's also got a football game coming up. That's on Friday night. If you're wondering, the Comets play Albany at Hopkins High School, and that's in Minnetonka. It can't get more confusing than that. We will be broadcasting that coming up on Friday night. So I'll get to be a part of that broadcast. And Jacob, this has been a blast. I'm so glad we were able to do this through Google Meet. Thank you so much. Good luck in your final. And I get to see you play football on Friday night. Good luck then, too.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thanks for broadcasting us. It's been awesome my parents and a lot of extended family get to watch on Friday nights thanks to you guys. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Well, we'll come back tomorrow night for volleyball as we'll be up at ZM and the Comets play at 7:15. But for now, we'll sign off for our Wednesday interview day here on KM Activities, your home for the Comets. Thanks for tuning in. Okay.